In this video, I'm going to go over the text 课文 of Integrated Chinese 中文听说读写 4th edition 第4版 Volume 1第1册 Lesson 7第7课 Dialogue 1对话1 And the topic for Lesson 7 is 学中文 Learning Chinese or Studying Chinese.In this dialogue, there are two characters, 人物 2个人物 2 characters, and they are 王鹏和李友. And in this dialogue, 王鹏跟李友说话. 王鹏 talks to 李友, or 王鹏 and Liu are talking. 王鹏 starts out by asking a question. 李友，你上个星期考试考得怎么样？李友，你上个星期考试考得怎么样？ Leo, how'd you do on last week's test? So let's break it down a bit. 你上个星期 you last week 考试 in your exam 考得怎么样？ Test, how was it? So, 怎么样 is how about it or how is it, how was it? So, 考得怎么样 How did you test? You tested, how was it? Let's go through Grammar 1 on page 182 in your textbook. Here is the use of the. You may recognize this character the as they from the last lesson. They is an auxiliary verb and means must or have to do something. But in this lesson, the same character is pronounced the. And it's used differently. You use it with verb plus the, plus an adjective / adverb. In Chinese, adjectives and adverbs are the same. When used this way, this term, the adjective, adverb, it functions as an adverb, describing the motion of the verb. So let me give you some examples. 考得很好 did well in a test or tested very well. 考得不好 didn't do well in a test. Literally, tested not well. 考得怎么样 You can replace the adjective or adverb with 怎么样 How was it? How did it go? And that becomes how did you do on a test? So I want you to remember this term 考得怎么样 That's what you use to ask someone how they did on a test. Leo replies, 因为你帮我复习所以考得不错但是我写中国字写得太慢了因为你帮我复习所以考得不错但是我写中国字写得太慢了 Because you helped me review, so I did pretty well on the test. But I write Chinese characters way too slowly. So here again we see the twice. The first one is 考得不错 Because you helped me review, therefore I 考得不错 tested pretty well. Here 写得太慢写 is write 写得太慢 writes too slowly. Writing what? Here's your topic. 中国字 writing Chinese characters. But when I write Chinese characters, I write way too slowly. 太慢了 too slowly. Wang Peng replies, 是吗？以后我跟你一起练习写字好不好？是吗？以后我跟你一起练习写字好不好？ Is that so? In the future, I'll practice writing characters with you, okay? 好不好 is the same as 好吗？Recall that 以后, if you put it after a time, it's after that time, but it can also be used alone as later on, from now on. 我跟你一起练习写字 I practice writing characters together with you. So, is that so? From now on, I'll practice writing characters with you, okay? Leo replies, 那太好了。我们现在就写怎么样？那太好了，我们现在就写怎么样？ That would be great. We'll write right now. How about it? Let's take a look at this character, 就, and it can be found in grammar point number 3 on page 185, 第185页 in your textbook. 就 comes before an action, and this is how your textbook explains it. The adverb 就 is used before a verb to suggest the earliness, brevity, or quickness of an action. I want to add immediately to that. But let's first look at these two examples from your book. 他明天7点就得上课. He has to go to class tomorrow at 7 o'clock. The speaker feels that 7 o'clock is very early. That's why this 就 is used. So your book translates as, he has to go to class early at 7 o'clock tomorrow. And it conveys the speaker's opinion that 7 o'clock is early. Let's look at the second one. 我们8点看电影，他7点半就来了. We saw a movie at 8, but he came at 7:30. And because the 就 is used here, it conveys that the speaker feels that 7:30 was really early. And that's why your textbook translates the sentence like this. We were supposed to see the movie at 8, but he came early at 7:30. Okay, so now here are these two examples. We see the earliness or perceived earliness of the speaker. Let's look at how Leo uses it. Leo says, 那太好了，我们现在就写，怎么样? That would be great. Let's write right now. 就 means immediately. Let's do it right now. Let's do it immediately. So here 就 conveys quickness in time, something that'll happen very soon. Wang Peng replies, 好，给我一支笔，一张纸，写什么字？好，给我一支笔，一张纸，写什么字？ Okay, give me a pen, a sheet of paper. What character do you want to write? 一支笔. Bi is actually a writing implement. A pen is a type of bi. A pencil is a type of bi. A crayon is a type of bi as well. So when you don't know what it is, you can just use pen, but know that it is a writing implement, something you use to write with. Leo replies, 你教我怎么写懂字吧. How about you teach me how to write the character 懂? You teach me how to write the character 懂. But makes it a suggestion, so it's better to say, how about it? How about you teach me how to write the character 懂? Wang Peng replies, 好吧, okay. Leo then says, 你写字写得真好，真快。你写字写得真好，真快。You write characters really well and really fast. Grammar point number 2 on page 183, 第183页 in your textbook talks about 太, 真, and 很. So I recommend that you take a look at it. But basically, 真 means really, 太 means so, and both of these are usually used in exclamatory sentences, and they both convey the speaker's subjective opinion. In response to Leo's compliment, Wang Peng answers, 哪里哪里？你明天有中文课吗？我帮你预习。哪里哪里？你明天有中文课吗？我帮你预习。哪里哪里 is a standard reply in Chinese when someone pays you a compliment. Literally, it means where, like, oh, you're paying me a compliment? Oh, where? I don't see this good quality you see in me. So it's a very humble expression. So anytime someone pays you a compliment, you say 哪里哪里. So Wang Peng replies, 哪里哪里？你明天有中文课吗？ Do you have Chinese class tomorrow? 我帮你预习. I'll help you study in advance. So there's not really a good English equivalent to 哪里哪里, but if you really wanted to translate it, I guess you could put something like, I'm flattered. Now, in your vocab list, 预习 is listed as preview, and that is correct. You're looking at something in advance. 预 means beforehand. 习 is like 练习, practice. But really, 预习 is to study beforehand, and it's actually a very common practice, especially in China and Taiwan, that students before a lesson, they will study or go through the text in advance so that they can understand the teacher better when they actually get in the classroom. Let's go back to this expression 哪里哪里. There's a little language note in your book. 哪里哪里 is a very traditional way, and I still say it's the gold standard to responding to a compliment. But nowadays, some people may say 是吗 to a compliment. Is that so? Hey, you did this so well. 是吗? Is that so? And also some have adapted more of a Western way of accepting a compliment with a simple 谢谢. Thank you. And that's more common in the cities. So, 哪里哪里 is still the gold standard, but people also use 是吗 or accept it gracefully, 谢谢. Leo then says, 明天我们学第7课。第7课的语法很容易，我都懂。可是生词太多，汉字也有一点难。明天我们学第7课。第7课的语法很容易，我都懂。可是生词太多，汉字也有一点难。Tomorrow we'll be learning the 7th lesson. Lesson 7's grammar is very easy, and I understand them all. But there are too many vocabulary, and the Chinese characters are also a little difficult. D can be found in grammar point number 5 in your textbook on page 187. D is used in front of the cardinal number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to form the ordinal number. 第一 means first, 第二 means second, 第七 means seventh. So 第7课 means the 7th lesson. Here 有一点儿 is grammar number 6 in your textbook. 有一点儿 is a phrase that's often used, and it's placed in front of an adjective. It means a little bit. So here 汉字 Chinese characters 也有一点难. Characters, the Chinese characters are also a bit difficult. 有一点儿 a little bit. At that, Wang Peng concludes the conversation by saying, 没问题，我帮你. No problem, I'll help you. That concludes my explanation of 第7课对话1. I hope you found it helpful. 希望对你有帮助。再见。